Have you ever wondered why some people, with less talent, fewer resources, and no spotlight, still go farther than those born with gifts? That's the power of consistency. Arjun sat on his rooftop, staring at the half-finished pages of his latest dream, a book he had promised himself he would finish, this time. He had said those words too many times before. First it was guitar lessons, then fitness, then a business plan. Every dream started like fireworks, bright, loud, exciting, then vanished into silence. His friends called him lazy. His parents called him distracted. But deep down, Arjun wasn't lazy. He was just tired of failing himself. That evening, as he scrolled through his phone, a headline flashed. Local sculptor wins Lifetime Achievement Award. The picture showed an old man with kind eyes. Master Dev, the city's most respected artist. Something about the calm on that man's face struck Arjun. Without knowing why, he decided to visit his studio the next day. The next morning, Arjun walked into a quiet workshop filled with half-finished sculptures and the smell of dust and stone. Master Dev looked up and smiled. "You look like someone searching for something he already lost." Arjun hesitated. "Maybe I am. I start things, but I never finish them. I think I just don't have the talent." Dev chuckled softly. "Talent? No, son. You don't lack talent. You lack patience." He placed a rough stone block before Arjun. "Hit it." Arjun hesitated. "With what?" Dev handed him a chisel. "With consistency." Each tap echoed through the silent studio. After a few minutes, Arjun sighed. "It's not changing." Dev smiled. "That's what everyone says before the stone finally cracks." Then he pointed to a beautiful sculpture of a bird with its wings open. "Do you know how long that took me?" "Months?" Arjun guessed. "Years," Dev replied. "But the time wasn't in the bird. It was in my hand. I had to train it to show up every day, even when nothing changed." That night, Arjun couldn't stop thinking about the old sculptor's words. So he made himself a promise. 1 page a day. No matter what, not 10, not 5, just 1. The first week was easy. He felt proud. The second week, life interfered. Work deadlines, friends calling, fatigue whispering excuses. One night, exhausted, he almost skipped writing. Then he remembered Dev's voice. "You don't need to move mountains. Just keep striking the stone." So he wrote anyway, sleepy, uninspired, but present. Days turned into weeks. Some pages were bad, others worse. But for the first time, Arjun started to trust himself. After 3 months, Arjun finished his first draft. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. Excited, he sent it to a few publishers. He waited days, checking his inbox like a child waiting for results. Then one morning, the replies came: rejection, rejection, rejection. One email said bluntly, "The story lacks depth and originality." It felt like someone had carved that line into his chest. He stared at the screen for hours, his throat tight. "I gave my best," he whispered. And it still wasn't enough. In a burst of frustration, he grabbed his manuscript, threw it to the floor, and shouted, "What's the point?" For the first time, he truly considered quitting. Again. That evening, he found himself outside Dev's studio once more. The old man was sitting quietly, polishing a small statue. Without looking up, Dev said, "I heard the hammer stop." "You've stopped striking, haven't you?" Arjun's voice cracked. "I tried, sir, but no one cared. They said it's not good enough." Dev placed the chisel down and sighed. "Do you think people loved my first sculpture?" "They laughed at it, said it looked like melted clay." Arjun looked at him surprised. But you're successful now," Dev interrupted gently. "But once I almost destroyed everything I made. I smashed my first sculpture into pieces. My wife found me crying beside it. she said. Even broken stone still remembers your touch. That night I began again. Dev looked up at Arjun, his eyes filled with quiet pain. You don't fail when others reject you. You fail when you stop showing up. Those words broke something and healed something inside Arjun. Arjun picked up his pages from the floor, smoothed the wrinkles, and began rewriting. This time, he didn't write for approval. He wrote for progress. He wrote when he was sick, when he was tired, when no one believed in him. Some nights, he stared at the blinking cursor, whispering, "Just one more page," and little by little his words grew stronger. His discipline became his muscle. 1 year later, he sent his second manuscript. He didn't expect anything, but one afternoon a letter arrived. The publisher wrote, "We felt every word. Let's publish it." Arjun froze, hands trembling. After years of quitting, he had finally finished something, and the world noticed. The book launched months later. The small hall was filled with readers, students, and strangers holding copies of his story. As the lights dimmed, Arjun walked to the stage. He looked at the front row, an empty seat reserved for Master Dev, who had passed away a few weeks earlier. He held up the book, his voice unsteady. "This isn't a story about talent," he said softly. "It's about not quitting when no one's watching. A man once told me that every strike of the hammer counts. I kept striking, and one day, the stone cracked. The crowd stood and clapped. Tears filled his eyes. In that applause, he didn't hear praise. He heard every silent night, every failure, every page that almost didn't happen." Months later, Arjun visited Dev's old studio. The dust had settled. The tools still lay where the master had left them. On a wooden shelf, he found a small plaque with Dev's handwriting carved into it. "Talent is a gift. Consistency is a choice. Choose wisely," Arjun smiled. Then he noticed an unfinished sculpture in the corner. A half-shaped bird, its wings incomplete. He picked up the chisel. For a moment he hesitated. Then he began carving, slowly, carefully, consistently. Tap, tap, tap. The same sound that once guided him now came from his own hands. Years passed. Arjun became an author, a speaker, a mentor. His story inspired millions, but he never forgot where it began. Inside a quiet studio, beside an old sculptor who believed in the power of small daily effort. One evening, a young boy visited him, clutching a notebook. "Sir," the boy asked shyly, "how do I become great like you?" Arjun smiled and handed him a small chisel. "Start with one strike," he said. "Then do it again tomorrow." The boy looked puzzled. "That's it?" Arjun nodded. "That's everything." As the boy left, Arjun turned back to the sculpture he had been carving, a bird finally ready to fly. He placed Dev's plaque beside it, wiped the dust from its edges, and whispered, "The fire lives on." The camera slowly pans out, the bird shining under the evening sun, the plaque beside it reading, "Talent opens the door, but consistency keeps you inside." Consistency isn't glamorous. It's slow, silent, often invisible, but it's the only thing that turns effort into excellence. Talent gives you the spark. Consistency keeps the fire burning when the world turns cold. So tonight, don't ask if you're good enough. Ask only this: can I show up again tomorrow? Because that's how success is built. One quiet, consistent day at a time.